who had 4 sons and a daughter, and asking him, is it okay if his wife, my mother, Jean, and the 3 kids move in with him for a year or so till he got straightened away down in northern Delaware, a little town called Claymont. And so that he said, I'll never forget, he said, I'll come home every weekend, Joey, every weekend. It's only 57 miles. I thought, my God, that's a million miles. I was in 3rd grade, going to 4th. And, he used to have an expression, and this is the God's truth. We got down to Delaware as he worked his way through after 5 years, being able to buy a small 3-bedroom home. He used to say, Joey, a job's a lot more than a paycheck. It's about your pride. It's about your place in the community. It's about your ability to look your kids in the eye. It's about your dignity. And so it's so much more. And so, when I ran with your help, and I couldn't have made it with all the help of people on this line, we were part of something special because you allowed me to compete. I think we put together one of the most consequential campaigns in modern history, because it really was, in my view, a battle for the soul of the nation, basic decency, building the middle class from the bottom up and the middle out, rather than waiting for everything to trickle down. And a lot of you are very successful people on the line, but you shared that view. You gave me the money and contributions to be able to complete. I should say compete. And so we're bound together. One of the most consequential first 6 months in the history of this country, not because of me. It's about the country. It's about people stepping up. Think about the last 6 months. The American Rescue Plan. We delivered shots and arms of millions and millions of people, checks in pockets of hundreds of millions of Americans. And maybe the thing I'm proudest of, we got the biggest middle class tax cut of all time, with the help of cutting the child poverty in half through the child care and the child tax credit. And 165 million Americans are fully vaccinated. You got over 190 that have at least one shot. It's the fastest job growth in the first 4 months of any previous presidency period, and a projected economic growth of nearly 7%, the highest in 4 decades. And last week, the infrastructure plan that I introduced when I was running and put together with a bipartisan group, I had to make some compromises, but it's going to make a gigantic difference. For example, it's going to transform the economy. It's over $1 trillion. It's going to eliminate all lead pipes in America, so people have decent drinking water. Build roads up to snuff, so we build them back to making sure that they are where the environment is now. Not we have to build it back better. Child care, caring economy, elder care, the things that the American public wants most. And look, and delivering high-speed internet to every American, delivering clean water, as I said, to every American, building a more resilient power grid, installing electric vehicle charging stations for $500,000, the largest investment in public transit and rail since the creation of Amtrak 50 years ago. What it's all about is my dad's notion. It's about creating good paying American jobs for millions of middle-class people and working-class people. And it's about our economic competitiveness. As a Democratic Party, I think we're going to be able to say, going in these off-year elections, as the chairman said, that we can deliver. We can deliver for the American people. We can bring the country together. We can make a difference in their lives. And, it's about including everyone this time around, Black, Latino, Asian American, Native American communities, because I said the administration and our efforts would reflect what the country looked like. And as I said, we're in the race for the 21st century economy, and the rest of the world is not hanging around and waiting. We have to move fast. And the bottom line for me is this, that we're signaling to the rest of the world, to ourselves, that we can function, we can deliver, we can do significant things. We've got a lot more to do. As we invest in physical infrastructure, also invest in human infrastructure, childcare, paid leave, universal pre-K for 2 years of community and 2 years of community college. When I hear about, that's not investing. Well, let me tell you, when I was vice president, I was asked to do a survey along with the Secretary of Commerce, of the 500 CEOs of the Fortune 500 to see what their greatest needs are. We got to 340 some. You know what they said almost to a person? They said, we need a better educated public. Well, they're not educating the public. And so what are we going to do? If I said to you tomorrow, we can maintain exorbitant tax cuts for the super wealthy, and many of you are, or we can make sure that every kid starting at age 3, 4, and 5 is in preschool, not daycare, and they have access to community college, so we're the best educated public in the world. Which do you think is going to best promote the country's growth? You know what it is. So look, let me conclude. I'm taking too much time. I want to meet each one of you, but look, we need a single most important thing that we have to do is we have to protect the voting system, protect the sacred right to vote. It's under assault in ways I haven't seen in my entire career. And I was the guy who was able to get the Voting Rights Act extended 25 years before when I was chairman of the Judiciary Committee. And it wasn't until the Supreme Court came along and said, no, I don't need it anymore. It's about who gets to vote and whether the vote counts and who gets to count that vote. We have a system that does both those things with independence and integrity. But what Republicans want to do is say a political party gets to decide if a vote counts. It's outrageous. We're going to fight like hell so that doesn't happen. That's one of the most important things we can do. There's a lot of work ahead. It's not going to be easy, but I'm going to need you to do it. The DNC is going to need you. And because here's the deal, we won in 2020 as a unified party. And as we look to 2022, we need to stay unified. The question the American people are going to be asking is whether we're helping them and their families, or do we understand what they're going through, understand their problem? Can we deliver for them? You know, as Democrats, we have to show that we understand, number one, we're delivering, number two, and we're keeping our promise. We just have to keep making our case, just as the Republican Party today offers nothing but fear, lies, and broken promises. We have to keep cutting through the Republican fog that the government isn't the problem and show that we the people are always a solution. We're the most unique country in the history of the world. You've heard me say this before. We're the only country that's organized based on an idea, not religion, ethnicity, geography, on an idea that we hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women are created equal. Endowed, you know the rest. But you have to be able to vote. It's the single most important thing we can do. And we're going to have to win races up and down the ticket. You know, in 2018, I was out of office, but I campaigned in 58 districts, congressional districts. They said we couldn't win. We won back the United States Congress. And look, if we make the right decisions in the next few years, in 50 years, people are going to look back and say, this was the moment that America won the 21st century. I really believe that. But we can't do it without you. You know, we have to prove that democracies can work. I'll conclude by saying, and the press on the lines heard me say this before, that Xi Jinping and who I met hours and hours with, over 25 hours, I've met 24 hours alone. When I won, he called me to congratulate me, spent 2 hours and I think almost 25 minutes on the phone. He believes, along with other autocrats, that in the modern world, things are changing so rapidly, so quickly, that democracies can't get their acts together and unite to compete with autocratic governments. He truly believes that. And he's decided that they're going to be the most powerful military force in the world and the largest economy and most organized economy in the world by 2045. We have got to demonstrate democracies can work and protect. And it's the thing is going to impact on our influence around the world more than anything. That's why we have to do some of this stuff together with others to get it done. Get it done. And I'm convinced there's not much we can't do. I think the country's ready. And because of you, I think we're going to be able to get it done. But I want to thank you all. Thank you for everything you've done. And, you know, we got to prove we can make democracy work again. That's what it's about. So God bless you all for what you've done and going to do. And may God protect our troops.